that means it's time for Muppin's Sewing Emporium. How are you doing today? I am wonderfully well. Thank you for asking. Um it's a beautiful, sunny, yet very windy day here in gorgeous downtown Paducah, Kentucky. We are live to you through the power of the internet, and my good friends, I'm having a good day. I hope you're having a great day too. We have some awesome new products to show you. And I didn't come on here last week because we did I come on here last? No, I did come here last week. Oh, I don't even know what day it is. I was here last week. We were showing you candle wicking, my friends, candle wicking, and we're going to talk about this again today. And let me tell you, I have cracked open the pattern to show you exactly what's inside. And let me also just say, tomorrow is National Quilting Day. So if you are able to come into the store, and or you may use this wonderful coupon code, Joy's here, this coupon code going by right now for National Quilting Day 2025 for 15% off everything in the store. Everything. And I am letting you know about this because, again, we're going to talk about this pattern. We're going to talk about some other things that we just got in. And I mean, they're so new. They just like literally came in right before we closed. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Are you ready for all of this? Because this is amazing. Okay. So let me bring in my camera. Get this thing set up here. Yes, we are good to go. La, da, 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 da. Okay. Hello, there I am. How are you doing today, my friends? Hopefully you are having a wonderful day. I am having a wonderful day. Let's first talk about these new jelly rolls. Okay. These are not your grandmother's jelly rolls. These are from Japan. And these jelly rolls are done out of Japanese yarn dyed fabric. You heard that right. And we have two different groups here. And I just want to show you these. And because I just find them to be so yummy. And one of them is like partially open. Here it is. And I was just like, well, if it's partially open, I'll just open it. And take a look at how gorgeous these yarn dyed fabrics are. So, you know, I have been saying for a while now that these wovens are hot. They are like so incredibly popular right now, and this is no exception. Look at just how like textural those are, and you're getting 20 different ones in this collection. So this is made in Japan. The jelly roll is made in Japan. It is a strip that's 2.5 inches wide by 44 inches wide. So they're a standard jelly roll strip. But what is only thing that is different is that you're getting 20 of them instead of 40 of them. So this is like half the size of a jelly roll, your typical jelly roll, but that also means that it's half the price because these, my friends, are only $27. And let me tell you, that is a incredibly good price given that these are imported from Japan. So all of those beautiful soft colors that the Japanese textiles are known for, these sort of homespun, yummy colors, that is what is in here in this jelly roll strip set. And just like your typical jelly roll, you've got them sort of wound on here in a beautiful set of colors that would be amazing for a jelly roll rug. But what I saw made out of this is just going to blow your mind. What I saw made out of this was one of the Mondo bags. So if you use these strips instead of the regular 2.5-inch squares, you cut your 2.5-inch squares out of a jelly roll for the Mondo bag. OMG, are you going to get this gorgeous mix from the fabric on that Mondo bag? It was an absolutely stunning sample. You're gonna love it. So this one is, the color is called Rose. Okay, this is currently in stock right now on our website, and what you will search for is Japanese strip rolls. It's also under our pre-cuts section, so you're going to be able to find this in the pre-cut section right now. This one is called Rose, so that's the rose colorway, okay, probably for this grouping right here. And this one is called Green, and you can see that it goes into the green blue colorways. Okay, so we've got some really, really pretty, the rose color, the green color, $27. Okay, and then we have two more that are also here, and these are, this one here is red, and this one here is blue. And you can just see that you've got same kind of thing going on. You've got those beautiful different wovens in there, and they're so pretty. This one here, both of these, all four of these are from Japan, and we got quite a few things from Japan this week, and so I'm just so excited at just how cool all of this stuff really is. So we've got, see, this one's sort of cracked open too, so I'm gonna just open this since the packaging is still kind of loose on it, so that you can see the beautiful colors in this green colorway on into the blues. There's even like a little bit of a red in there. And you know, typical of all jelly rolls, they have the pinked edges. So you're gonna get that fluff. But OMG, are these so pretty? So pretty. And again, I saw something made out of it, and I could not wait to get these into the store. So we've got these Japanese strip rolls, and they are currently in stock on our website. We've got them all here, and you can use the coupon code right there that's going by, National Quilt Day 2025. So tomorrow is National Quilt Day, so you can come in and check these out. Again, I'm very excited. I hope you are too. They're all $27, 20 strip rolls in here, and Yum. I mean, you know me, I love a good woven anyway, but oh, oh, I love it. Okay, so what else do we have? We have three new fabrics, and I'm gonna show you these one at a time, but we have these currently on the website also for they are there in yards and also in, and we're offering these as fat quarters for the first time on our website. So if you are interested in a fat quarter, you can buy just a fat quarter. And if you want the yardage, you can also buy the yardage. So I'm going to go through these one at a time. These are all three of these fabrics are from Japan. They are printed in Japan and they were imported here. So we've got like new access to a fabric importer, which is really, really exciting. And the first one I'm going to show you is this Art Nouveau um, teacup panel. And if you do not know me, you do not know then that I collect vintage teacups around somewhere in my house. And I have had teacups my whole adult life. I've collected teacups, random off one off teacups just like these. And what I would do is I had a whole china cabinet full of them, and I still have them all. I just need to find a place in when our renovation is done with the building, then we will be able to do that. But oh my gosh, like these are just too adorable. These little teacups are about an inch across, so they're really tiny. This would make a lovely bag. It would make a lovely housewares, placemats, you name it. It would be just quite adorable in as that. I just think this is so pretty. It's like a dusty teal, which was a phrase that the person who was running the booth for this brand, they said, "Oh, it's like a dusty color. It's not quite a teal. It's like a dusty teal." So now I cannot look at these kinds of colors without saying like, "Oh, it's like a dusty, rose or a dusty teal or whatever." It's just kind of funny to me. Anyway, so we have the teacups. This one is currently in stock. It's in the fabric section, and you can also buy the these by the yard as well. I know, Cheryl. I love teacups. My daughter-in-law needs a set of napkins. Yes. Great little print for all kinds of stuff like that. I'm just very, very, very excited. I think this would be a great zipper bag. It would make a great gift for anyone who absolutely loves tea. You can do all kinds of really, really fun stuff with this one. So from Japan, and this, as you can see, it's got like the prettiest little selvage too. So I love that. Um, anyway, this one is from a line called Art Nouveau, and so I just thought I had to have those. The next one is a company called Sevenberry, and I really thought that this little fish print was really, really sweet. And it has like almost like an orange peel, quilt block look to it. But they're little fish and they're so cute. Um, Again, this would make a really adorable summer top. This is also great as a bag, a border for your sashiko, all kinds of beautiful things that you can make out of this little fish print. Now, the little fishes are about an inch across. like nose to nose there. So, um, the little fore patch of them is about 2 inches across. So just really adorably sweet little fish print. Very Japanese feel to it. I really enjoyed that part. Um, I didn't want to get too in the weeds when it came to, like the Asian influence and things like that. But I think it's got that hint of Japan, and I really, really dig that. Now, I will say this one is about as Japanese cute as it can get, and I love this kind of stuff from Japan. Like, I can't this is where Japanese textiles get me every time. Now, these are little desserts, okay? They're like little mochi desserts, and then you have the little birds, and they are snowbirds. And you have also a different kind of bird here, a little green bird. Um, this is one of those that would be an absolute interior of a bag, super cute. Um, make it would be great as a zipper bag. It would be great as so any of my friends who normally, love all that Japanese cute stuff, this is the print for you. We do have these on our website in fat quarters. This is the first time that we're kind of offering it that way. Typically I have most things just set up as yardage, and so if you wanted like a yard, that you would just be able to buy the yard on the website, but now you can also buy it as a fat quarter. So we're trying this out with the Japanese fabrics. Now, you're probably thinking like, well, Cheryl, if you imported all of this, like, and these are from Japan, imported from Japan, they're probably really expensive. And honestly, I would have thought so too. And typically whenever I had seen fabrics from Japan, they were like incredibly overpriced. These are the same price as the rest of our fabrics. It's that affordable. It's $13 a yard, and a fat quarter is $3.50, just like the rest of our fat quarters. So we are so happy to have these in a way that are it's inexpensive. It doesn't break the bank, and um it's just really exciting to me because when I looked at these and I thought, oh gosh, they're so pretty, I probably couldn't afford to bring them in, and then I found out that they were exactly half the cost of a traditional jelly roll. I was like, that's amazing. So I'm very excited about these three fabrics. These are in stock right now on the website, and don't forget to use the coupon code, etc., etc., etc. All right, and now here's something we're putting our foot in the sashiko arena. But I have to tell you, you know, typically with sashiko, there's the typical way that they're stitched, and you can buy, all the standard, stuff, and you kind of like, I'm looking at all this, like I'm getting overwhelmed with all of the sashiko material out there. There's a lot of these pre-printed, things, and all you do is stitch them, right? And then of course there's sashiko threads, and then there's sashiko needles, and then there's sashiko this and sashiko that. And essentially I wanted something that I could dip my toe into, but also be different enough from the rest of the stuff that is out there for sashiko. So I brought this in first, and there is another group of things coming, but I wanted to test the waters with this first. And I'm kind of over explaining. So anyway, so these are sampler cloth from a company called Daruma, and there's two different styles here, and you'll see this here in a second. But the cloth is already printed, and it comes in the package. So I've opened one up because of course I'm going to do one as a sample. And as you can see here, okay, it's got like a little skull, surprise. And here's what the fabric looks like. Okay. And it tells you, now there are English directions in here, and essentially you've got the directions that tell you. Okay, let me get that started here. Okay, so you've got essentially these directions here in English and in Japanese. And it tells you essentially how to stitch this. So what this is called is hitomi zashi. And if you're like, there's different kinds of sashiko, yes, this is called hitomi zashi. And what that means is it means continuous stitch. And what that means is that essentially you stitch all the horizontal lines first, and then you come back and you stitch all the vertical lines. And if you are doing one of these designs that has any diagonals, then you do like the right to left diagonal and then the left to right. And that is a very ordered way to do all of this stitching. And what that creates is a very, very neat and tidy back to your kanzashi or your sashiko. And it even has on here, you can look here, like the little number 1, and there's a number 2. And what that is telling you is to do everything in this direction first, and then everything in this other direction next. All right. And so you go up and then down, and then up and then down. And that's how you sort of order your stitching to have this all over effect, which is called hitomizashi, right? It means like one stitch pattern. And this one, being the skull, is the one that I'm going to do first, which I'm very, very, very excited about. And yeah, so we have the skull pattern, okay? And just in case you didn't think I made it up, right? It does say skull right there. And then we have a Space Invader, because of course, why not? Okay, Space Invaders. And look at how cool that looks when it's done with the repeat. I just think they're so neat. So I am really, really excited about these. And look, I mean, it's pre-printed, and all of this washes away. So eventually when this is laundered, all of this stitching or all of these marks, they're meant to wash away, which is really cool. So pre-printed from Japan, $12 a panel. And I don't know, I'm excited. This is, meant to be, well, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to turn it into yet, but I'm just really, 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 really excited. So, cool things from Japan. We've got more Sashiko stuff coming. Because I mean, why not, right? So, I'm just really in love with the different the little fabrics. I'm especially excited about these jelly rolls. They're so cool. And yeah. Okay. So, cheers. It's Friday. It's more sweet tea. All right, we're going to talk now about the candle wicking. And I'm very excited because I'm actually going to make this as a sample in the store. As you know, samples sell. Okay. I am going to do the candle wicking, and then I'm going to quilt it and turn it into a small quilt in the shop. So I'm just very excited about this. And so we had talked about the transfers being in here, and this picture on the outside here does not do what's inside this package any justice. But specifically, I wanted to do this mushroom, okay, because mushrooms and the 70s era mushroom things are really, really hot right now. But here is the what the transfers look like, okay? And you can see they've got the dots on them for you to transfer to your fabric. And there's some really, really cute stuff on here. There's including the directions, which, in case you didn't have directions on the how to do the candle wicking, it's right here on one of the pages. Okay, so it does talk about, the history of candle wicking, which we talked about a little bit last week, and how to do your stamping. And so it's basically, all here for you to try out. Now, here's like how to do a table, not a table runner, what do we call it? A placemat. Okay, so there's placemats, there's napkins, there's this pineapple, there's a pillowcase edging, there's all kinds of cute stuff on here. It doesn't even show all of that in this. As you can see, I've cut one out. You've got more pillowcase edging, you've got a quilt block, you've got the carousel horse, more quilt blocks, more little flower motifs, little heart motifs. You've got all kinds of stuff on here. There's a lot in this pattern. You could do an entire quilt based off of one of these transfers. So that's kind of what I'm trying to show here. But here's some more. Now remember, these are all in reverse. There's another quilt block. Here's kind of a sashiko version there. We've got some more motifs. You've got a welcome, and you have, I would assume that's another pillowcase, cherries, and then a really, really sweet label for a baby gift. So that's what comes in the package, okay? So the transfers are $12. Now, what I did was I cut out just the mushroom, okay? And I took this to the iron and I took this is a what's the 10-inch square layer cake, okay? If you one of the best things you can have around as far as layer cakes go. This is my tip about layer cakes. One of the best layer cakes around is just the standard white, standard black, standard gray. By having those layer cakes, you can at any time you need to do a little embroidery project or a little applique product project, you have that 10-inch. So I basically have been sitting here talking to myself, haven't I? How many times can you use the transfer? Well, you can use them up to 3 to 4 times. The more you iron them, the more the lighter they will get. So if you use them, you basically use them until they don't transfer anymore. But as you can see, we've got a pretty good transfer. Right? I had taken myself out of the video. So of course I was just talking to myself. I always forget that, but there you go. So no, we want to do this the other way. There we go. um so yeah, what you do is you take you take it, you press it, make sure that you get like that iron really, you want to set it to like as hot as it will go. Give it, and you don't want to don't move the iron around while you're ironing it, because if you scooch the transfer and still press it, you're gonna get that shadowing, you're gonna get all that. You don't want that. So once you set it down and you press it, like you have to lift the iron and set it back down, lift the iron and set it back down. You don't want to scooch it around, because you will then blur these lines and or create yourself a shadow. So we do, if you need blocks, we have them. They are $6. 12-inch blocks ready for you to put in a hoop, iron on your transfer, then put in a hoop and go. And so these are by the same company, Aunt Martha's, they Colonial Patterns. They do these. They've been doing these for years, but you've got the transfers. And so I just wanted to show you exactly how that works. So there you go. And now we've got all of this transferred and ready to go. Now, in this particular case, I'm using a 12 weight thread that I had in my stash, of all things. And one of the things that Charlie and I are looking at is bringing back the embroidery thread that we had initially brought in. When did we first do all of this? It was almost two years ago. Exactly. 2 years ago, February 15th is how long we've been here. So what I had said to Charlie was, we haven't had the embroidery thread since then. And so it's time. We're going to bring the embroidery thread back. So I'm pretty excited about that. Okay. So if you remember our last attempt at this was, we were trying to do the stitches here, and I had been trying to do this on the now a traditional French knot is just like straight through and down, right? But we wanted to do the figure eight for the colonial knot. So this is that colonial knot. You are you're going under and over and there we go. And see, you'll see that loop there like that, and down you go. And again, this creates a big chunky knot. And that's your first one. I mean, it's about as straightforward as it gets. I do enjoy making these a lot nicer. They come out a lot nicer to me. If you are doing the knot in a hoop. I feel like, so you can see there the different size. The second one is what we're going for. And you come up right where the dot is. I like to try to hit that dot in the center of it. And then we're going to, you go under and over like so. And how you'll know that you've got that knot correct is you'll see it'll almost look like, I don't know, like almost like a loop that you've looped around the, you can see the size of the knots. Now this particular thread is a little bit thinner than the Candlewick thread. Oops, sorry. Under and then over. Oh, that is not what I wanted. So we'll just go back in and do it again. It kind of made a nothing. I don't know how I even accomplished that, but we'll figure that out. Okay. Now I want to make sure, there we go, that I wasn't creating a big knot on the back. We're going to go under and then over. And what you kind of see is it's like a twist in the thread. And it just makes like it's really does stick up tall, which is what you're going for. So under and under again. And it does create like a knot-ish. And all you're doing is taking the thread and like pulling it through. It's a French knot is very different. A French knot, you take the thing, you wrap your thing, you wrap your needle and you put it down and it creates the knot. That's not what we're doing here. We're taking the knot and we're kind of creating a loop on the of the thread instead of it spiraling the needle. Does that make sense? It's kind of making sense. But you can see, just the how this is supposed to work. So up and then around, back and down. And you do want the thread to be a little tight. You don't want it to be super loose. So again, we're going around and you get that little 8 and back down. Now, look, some of them, because they're tall, right, they want to lean over. And you could take your finger and kind of just zhuzh it till it stands upright, because that's what we want, right, is all of this to get filled in. Just making sure it's not creating any knots on the back. There we go. And down into the fabric. So while we're doing this, and there's not a whole lot of dots. Like at first you're probably like, that is a lot of dots. I don't know if, I really want to make that many French knots or in this case, colonial knots. But what, to me, this was a pretty easy looking pattern because it doesn't look like it has a whole lot on it, to me. But, your mileage may vary, as the kids say. Now, this is done with a 12 weight thread, and I'm kind of excited about trying this thread out for this, because the type of thread that was being used for the candle wicking that the kit came with was very rusticy looking thread. The twist in it isn't very, it's like very slubby. And the thread that I'm using is a lot smoother, as you can see. Okay, so I kind of wanted to see how this would work. And so far, I really like it. It's making like a consistent stitch, which is good. So anyway, so last weekend, Charlie and I went to a needlework show, and that's where we were able to pick up all of the sashiko and Japanese products. And I was really, really excited about being able to bring that stuff into the store. It's something really different for Paducah. There's not a lot of that here already. So I'm just really excited about that as an option. Um, you know, it's just really neat to me. So we've got these starting to, kind of come together. It's like, why is that one like not in the same row? It's like it's out of the same row. Does not look like it's sitting in the same spot. Um, so you go under, over, and around, and you get that big twist in the thread, and that creates your colonial knot. So under, over. Ooh, you got to keep it on the needle though. That's the thing. Like under, over, and around. It can be fussy. But as you can see, once you get going, it just goes, right? Under, over, and around. And what I like to do is I like to make sure that it's pulled a little bit against the needle. That makes the knot not as messy looking. Some of them can be really quite like obnoxious. And if you want them to be more consistent, it's just a matter of learning the amount of tension that you need to give it, which is what I'm trying to learn to do here. And so I want like more consistency in each one. I want them to look more the same rather than like having like a really, really big one or a really, really small one. So, it's just trying to make sure that you get that twist, and then like how much tension to give it here at the needle before you pull the thread through to the back. And that's going to start giving you like consistent size knots. Does that make sense? And again, it's a white on white work of our process. It's not supposed to have like a ton of color. It's supposed to be very tone on tone, very white on white color wise. And this one I almost pulled it through and didn't take care to fuss with that one before it went down into the fabric. That would have been bad. Now there is a point at which you don't have enough thread on the needle in order to continue to do the process, and you're going to have to watch for the point at which you have no more thread to work with. And this is where we get into this like crazy, like people, you're either like all for this or you're like crazily, I don't know, but people get to the point where like this is the point at which you should stop. Okay, you don't have enough thread here to do the process. As you can see, I'm like trying to wrangle a loop when I don't have a lot of room to maneuver. And what I need to do is to stop here and put and make a knot on the back and start over with a fresh piece of thread. But we as people in whatever, we get to this point and we're like, oh, there's enough for one more stitch. And we have to learn, my friends, to be okay with stopping when we know there's not too much thread to work with. So there we go. Which I think we got pretty far on the one set, on the one needle. So yeah, and this is, plenty left over. There's somebody who's out there that could be like, don't throw that away. No, you can throw that away. They're still making thread. They're still making thread. They'll still sell you thread. You do not need to work with, a little smudge of thread because, you're worth the extra piece and it's not worth your frustration, right? So don't let it frustrate you. Don't work with a piece of thread that's too small. And we all do it. Okay. Had to it's like 3 times now. All right. It is time for me to get new bifocals. I can tell because I'm always trying to look over the top of my glasses at the bifocals. So, all right. This is a technique that you use a double length of thread on, and that's what a lot of that's also part of the trick here is you want to use a double length. Okay, so we're back to square one. We're just going to come up in the dot and we're going to do the under, over, and around. Oop, see? Under, over, and around, and then down. And you take this and you pull it just gently. You don't want to pull it too tight because then you're going to make too small of a knot. And we want all of our knots to be like consistent and the same size. And you don't get that. I mean, you do get that if you make them all super tight, but then if you make them all super tight, they don't have the loft that you're looking for. So under, over, and around. And then as you can see here, that little part you're going to pull just gently. And then back down we go. And I mean, this is enough. Like it's a project enough where you can follow the, what you're doing. You can look up from it. You can talk. You can watch TV. You don't have to be like stuck pretending like you're what you're supposed to do next. Like I think that gets really frustrating sometimes when you have a project and you're like, well, I want to take it somewhere, and then you end up talking or you end up doing something and then you look down and you forgot where your place is, like with cross stitch. I always had a difficult time doing cross stitch because I would lose my place, or knitting or crochet. I can't do that and talk to people because I got to count. And this is sort of like, well, I know where I need to take my next stitch because as long as you still have uncovered dots, that's where you got to take your next stitch at. So it's just kind of cool, how to do the next thing. So, under, over, and around, and then down. There we go. See how they're coming together? It's pretty cool. Old technique made new again, and new but also retro, right? So by next week, this little project will be quilted and I will have it here for all of us to see, and I'm kind of excited about that. So yeah, it'll be And that's kind of what I wanted to show this too, was that like this is like any other applique, like any other kind of project, you know. You don't you don't have to do it the way they do it, but you can also, you could do this with a thread of a slightly different shade. I think like pastels would be really pretty. But I wanted to do one very traditionally, just to show you how they come together. And I mean, candle wicking is kind of just a neat old craft. Not something that you hear about every day, and definitely not something you see anymore. Anyone who has like a candle wicked bedspread and things like that, like I never see those in the uh antique stores or anything like that. So that just tells me that they're like being hung on to, because this is a lot of work to do a whole bedspread like this. And trust me, they did have kits for entire candle wicked bedspreads, and they were also very popular in like the late 1700s. So this is like, you know, formation of America time frame when this was popular. So that's why it was one of those crafts that came back in 1776. And I just think it's really cool, you know, with the various knots. So anyway, that's what's going on over here. My friends, I think I'm going to continue doing this project. If you have a chance, definitely go check out the shop, grab something on a discount. We have all that new stuff from Japan that just came in, is very exciting. And if you want the candle wicking patterns, the iron-on transfers, and if you need the fabric, we also have the little quilt block uh, in white that you can just get those, do your little iron on, and start stitching. My friends, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you get some sewing done this weekend. Tomorrow is National Quilting Day. Happy National Quilting Day to you. And I will see all of you next week.